Do you want to make a school bag for your child or for commercial purposes, but you don't know the processes that go into making of a school bag? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a school bag. Let's get right into it. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is that we're going to be taking a paper to draft our pattern. So you need your pen and you need your ruler. Instead of this kind of paper, you can also use the regular cardboard paper. I'm going to be using 14.5 inches by 11.5 for this bag. So this is my 11.5 inches by 14.5 inches. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take one of the points on the tall side. I'm going to mark ½ inch. So I'll also take this other end and I'm also going to mark another ½ inch. So next thing you want to do is measure about 2 inches from the bottom. Measure 2 inches from the bottom, and then from that 2 inches mark, you're going to bring the slant downwards to this end. So we're going to slant towards the 2-inch mark. So just before we cut out the slant, we have to curve the base of the bag first. So you take a curved object, preferably a cup or anything curved, in order to create the curve for the bag. So you do this for the two sides of the bottom part of the bag. So what you have here is going to be the same as what you have here. Now, having done this, the next thing that you're going to do is that you're going to cut out all the things that you have marked so far. If you have been making bag before now, you will notice that sometimes when you're done with your bag, top part of the bag looks as though it is wider than the base part of the bag. In order for you not to get a bag where the top part of the bag looks wider than the bottom part of the bag, it is essential for you to slant the pattern. That means you remove ½ inch at the top and slant it before the bottom. So once you're done covering the base of the bag and you are okay with the curve at the base, next thing you want to do is you want to curve the top of the bag. So you're first going to sketch out what the top of the bag is going to look like. Then I'm going to look at it. If I like the curve, then I'll cut it out. But if I don't like the curve, I can further shift my hand inward and make another curve, then look at it again and see which of the curves I love most. Okay, so if you are not sure of which curve you want to go for, I would advise that you cut out the one closest to the corner first, and if you do not like it, then you can now go in with the one next to it. So you can draw as much curve so that you choose. I'm going to cut out one of these first. Okay, so this is what the first curve looks like, and I'm not quite sure that I love it, so I'm just going to make some adjustments. I'll keep curving this until I get the curve that I want. Once you get the perfect shape that you want, then you can now fold it into two and then reflect it on the second side. I'll use my pen to draft this out. Here we have the pattern of our bag. So the next thing is we're going to be coming up with a pocket. This is 11.5. Measure 1.5 inch inward, 1.5 inch inward from this end as well, and then also 1.5 inch from the base. So this is where your front pocket, right, your external compartment is going to sit. The way I drew it is to follow the slant so that we have allowance like this. Then you're going to measure where you want your front compartment to get to. So in this case, I don't think my front compartment should go beyond here, so I'm going to measure that to this point. So what I have is let's say 6 inches. Well, so this is where our front compartment is going to get to. This is how our front compartment is going to be. This is 6 inches by 8.5 inches. So I'm going to take another pattern paper and I'm going to cut this out, and you can see that this fits right into this. So this is going to be the front compartment of the bag. So I also want to shape this. I'm going to place this here. So I want to add more height to this. I think that my pocket should get to about here. So I want to add more height to this. I'm just going to measure what is left. That is about 1.25 inches. Once you're done cutting your pattern, the next thing you want to cut is the gusset of the bag. So I'm going to teach you the basic to cutting the gusset of the bag. So the same way you cut the gusset for the major body of the bag is also the same way that you're going to be using to cut the gusset for the front compartment of the bag. You're going to find on your bag where you want your zip to get to, okay, where you want your zipper to get to. Sometimes you could want your zipper to get there so that when you open the bag and the zip gets up to this point. If this is where you want the zip of the bag to get to, then you're going to measure from this end. You're going to fold at this end on your pattern, and then you're going to make sure that it is equal to this end, so that by the time you open your bag opens up to this point. But usually the zip part of a backpack gets to somewhere around half of the bag. But this is how I measure my own zip compartment. So I basically fold my pattern. So I'm going to fold in your presence. So I'll fold my pattern so I have about 1 inch distance from the top. It's not going to get to the base of the bag, so I'm going to fold. I'm going to fold towards the two sides. This is where the zip part of your bag is going to get to. You're going to measure this. You're going to measure from here, from this point to this point. Take the measurement separately. Then from this point where you stopped towards the base of the bag to this end where you folded it, okay, that means from here like this, you're also going to take the measurements. That's going to be the base measurement of the bag. Once you have the measurements like that, that is what you're going to cut by how wide you want your bag to be. It's up to you to determine how wide you want the bag to be. You can use 4 inches, you can use 5 inches, you can use 6 inches. However wide you make the bag to be determines how spacious the bag is going to be. So the more the space you want in the bag, then the more you increase the width of the bag. So this is the front compartment of the bag. You're going to choose on the side where you want your zip to get to. Usually this one, the zip does not used to extend beyond the top part, okay? You don't want the bag to open and the mouth comes like this. So just mark a point here where you want the zip to get to. Mark a point. It could be where the curve starts from. Make sure that it is the same on this end. So once you have your 2 points, you measure from here to here. That's going to be the zip compartment, and then you also measure from this part downwards, from the down part, right, to this end. So that's going to be the base compartment, then by whichever width you choose. So usually for the front compartment of your bag, the width should not be too wide. I repeat, the width should not be too wide. At most, use 2.5 inches. That's half inches for sewing, right? The half inches for sewing, for folding. By the time you are done, you should have 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So anything beyond 2 inches, your bag is not going to look fine. It's not like it's not going to come out okay, but it's just not going to look fine. From what I have explained just now, it also means that you are going to cut 2 gussets for your bag. That means one is going to be at the top, which is going to hold the zip of the bag. Then one is going to be at the base. You're cutting 2 things for the gusset of the bag, and then you're going to join them, right? You're going to join them before you attach them to the bag. So let's go into that.